Hello, the internet. It is Saturday, the 7th of November, 2020, and welcome back to the channel. Now, in a previous video, we talked about my IRL backpack and how that is set up to stream IRL style walking around using the LiveView Solo. And I mentioned how I used the GoPro HERO 9 and the media mod to run that stream. And I mentioned how I'm not going to use that anymore. I'm going to swap from the GoPro to the GH5 as my stream camera, even though it's heavier. It's going to be a heavier, cumbersome load. I'm going to tell you now why that's the case and a few things that I think about the media mod, which are pretty disappointing from GoPro. But before we do, I want to show you what I did do on the stream. This is a little example.
A little more sand here now because of the recent weather.
Of how the stream looked.
Definitely, yeah, that's definitely a factor, but not a huge factor at this point. If you remember the storms that ruined my way of a day...
At this point, it should be said that that looks good, right? The GoPro looks good. And it does look good in the daytime. One of the hugest bugbears I have about this media mod, there's two real critical things, I think, but the first one I want to talk about is, as a photographer, you want to have control over your camera. You want to have control over the exposure triangle, right? The aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. You want to be able to control that. With a GoPro and the media mod, you still have no control over that. In fact, when you have... by the way, I should specify here, I'm talking about streaming with the GoPro using the HDMI output on the media mod. I'm not talking about using the internal feature of live streaming to an RTMP or straight up to Facebook or whatever it is, straight from the GoPro into that platform. I'm talking about taking a feed out of the HDMI output and, in my case, into a LiveView Solo. So this is specific to that. If you've had good results just going straight from the GoPro into some ingest, great, continue to do that. Me personally, I want to be able to put overlays on screen, like you see my alert notification here. I want to be able to have my, basically I want to mimic my stream from home on the road, and you need HDMI out for that. So when you plug in the HDMI port, the mini, not strangely, but GoPro enough, the back of the screen just goes off. So you no longer have access to see whatever's happening. You want to hope that whatever the device you're plugging it into has a screen. Luckily, the LiveView Solo does, albeit a small one, kind of low res, low contrast, but at least you can see it. What it does instead is it gives you a display on the screen. It's like a little, it's like an HDMI port comes up there. It's basically you are now HDMI out. So therefore, you cannot control shutter, you cannot control aperture, you can't control exposure. You can't control anything, right? Which you can't anyway on a GoPro. You can very minimally, but what I thought would have happened with a media mod would have been maybe some dials on the side that gives you the controllability of the camera. So maybe there's a shutter dial on the side here. Maybe there's an aperture dial on the side. Maybe there's an ISO that you can tap to go up or down, right? That's what I thought the media mod would give. It doesn't. A critical thing, and so this is the thing with the GoPro, like I said here, it looks clean, right? That looks clean in the daytime, but if you skim forward to, we did stream into the night here. We streamed into the night. So if we go forward here into the later part of the evening, you'll see how bad a GoPro, what a bad job a GoPro does of exposing for background. Now I've got a light on me there, so that's going to look a little cleaner. But if we go back to before I turn the light on and we have a look at the way that the GoPro handles low light situations. Okay, so let's make this larger. Look at this. It's grainy. It's terribly exposed. It's not cool.
AC800 and the Nighthawk M2. I've got the LiveView Solo.
Look at how grainy that is.
These all require power.
So
I'd power them off the laptop.
So what's happening there is the GoPro is choosing its exposure. And in this case, it's ramping the ISO to hell and back. Now, I thought, like I said, I thought you'd be able to control that, but you can't. The other thing that is really, really, really a shame, clean HDMI out on the GoPro Hero 9. Now, I know it exists. I know clean HDMI exists. I cannot get it to work. So what you saw then was me scaling my frame up to remove... See, I did a test a week ago. Now, just for those that are wondering, I'm on firmware 1.22, which is the current firmware as of the 7th of November 2020. So I'm on current firmware 1.22. I got clean HDMI out. For the life of me, I cannot get it again. So I found this thread over on the community page on GoPro. This person, Irish Man PDX, says, I'm on firmware 1.22 and clean HDMI out with the media mod works the exact same way it did with the GoPro Hero 8. Plug the HDMI cable in. You'll see can you see that? You'll see a screen with the memory card and battery icon as well as a menu down the bottom. That's what you see on the output, not on the back of the GoPro. It's only on the output, which is absolutely baffling. That screen should be on the back of the GoPro. It's only on the HDMI output. What? Press the mode button 4 times until you select the eye symbol that's crossed out. Select that by pressing the shutter button. Clean HDMI out enabled. In short, mode button 4 times, shutter once. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It gives you partially clean HDMI out, but I could still see the SD card remaining and the battery remaining, even though I had it plugged into HDMI, USB-C. So I cannot believe that that's so, like, to me, you plug a cable in the back here and what should happen, an HDMI output, it should say on the back, HDMI out, and you should be able to see what the output is. That's fundamental. You should be able to, you shouldn't have to go to the device it's going to. You should be able to see it here. Okay, cool. Oh, the displays, all the overlays are on. Okay, turn them off with 1 click. You can't. Completely clunky. Completely clunky. Now, that brings me to the most hideous design flaw from GoPro. I'm going to take my microphone off here. I'm going to take my external light source off. I'm going to take out the cables here. This is baffling. So I want to remove this from the device. You know how I do that? I've got to unscrew this freaking beautifully designed thumb screw. Yeah, that's right. Like this. It's taken a while. I know. This is how cumbersome this shit is. Finally get it all the way out the thread. Pull that out. Then you take that guy off. And then you clean. Because the media mod doesn't include its own feet. You've got to use the feet on the GoPro Hero 9. Now, before we take this out, well, I'll take it out and show you, and then I want to show you something terrible. So to get this GoPro out of here, you click the little drawbridge, then you slide it out. So why can't this thing have its own feet? Why does it have to use the feet? Why does it have to use those feet? Like, why does it have to use the GoPro feet? That makes no sense to me, because assuming you're like me, you're going to be using this media mod exclusively on this setup, right? This is what it's for. This is your, if you're going out surfing, you're not taking this, right? You're taking the GoPro out. This is going to stay here permanently. But now every single time I want to get the GoPro out, I've got to take these feet off. Such a simple method for GoPro would have been close this up and put its own feet on there. So then this thing could sit on there permanently, and whenever you needed to add the GoPro to it, you could open the side door. You could just slide the GoPro in. But now you got to unscrew that thread every single time. And I tell you, watch this. You plug this back in, and this is clunky as crap to start with. See, it wasn't going in because a small portion of you see that? Where's my light? Where's my shirt? I'll put it against my shirt. It wasn't going in because the tiniest little section was still sticking upright. So now it's going to go in, and then watch this. Once it's in, and you close this door, you have to be able to get a nail underneath this. Like, to get that leg out, one of them's easier than the other one. I think this one's easier. Yeah, that one's easy, right? But to get the one closest to the door side, holy crap, folks. And I've got a nail. Like, I don't have huge nails. The only way I discovered to get around this is to have a... Oh, crap. That landed on my mouse. I thought it might have stopped the feed here. The only way to get around it, I found, is to have a screwdriver close by to be able to get underneath there. Oh, my God. And lift that thing up. I mean, come off. That is... GoPro, absolutely baffling, right? Totally baffling. Incredibly cumbersome, incredibly sketchy, a stupid design. You could have easily remedied it by not having to use those and just putting its own legs on. And I feel like GoPro have a history of, like, they half-ass do things, right? They do it halfway on one product, and then the next product they do it the right way. I feel like the next Hero 10 Media Mod will have that feature, because it seems so stupid not to. It's a game changer for me. I'm not gonna faff around with this. No manual controls over exposure, shutter, or ISO, and an absolute cumbersome, clunky... Got that one out. Now try to get this one out. Oh, I've got it. No. Got it. I got it that time with my finger. Then you got to put this thing back in. Once it's on here, right? Far out. I cannot believe this. It's like... It's such a strange design. Such a strange... I can't believe they sat in their meeting and went, yeah, yo, Bob, you've nailed that connection point. The feet that are already on the GoPro, we'll use that in the media mod. That'll be awesome, won't it? Yeah, but... And then someone in the meeting's like, does that mean you're going to have to take that off every time you want to take the GoPro out? Yeah. That's going to be a little cumbersome. No, it's great. The feet, man. The feet are awesome. And then you got to screw this sucker back in. It's even difficult. It's even difficult to, once you've aligned it up, it's even difficult to get that thing. I mean, this is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. It's difficult to even get that in to start with. And then you got to go this massive long thread. And then as it goes in, it gets recessed. So you have to go from the bottom only. Like, for real, GoPro. You people, we keep buying your products, but holy crap, cumbersome. You know what isn't cumbersome, folks? My Patreon supporters. If you've supported me on Patreon, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for enabling me to be able to buy these devices and get super frustrated with them. Without your beautiful support, I wouldn't have been able to test this, because I bought all this with Patreon support money. I wouldn't have been able to test this without you. Thank you so much for enabling me to do this on the full time. Much appreciation. I'm going to use the GH5 from now on. I'm not touching the GoPro ever again for a live stream in this instance. Now, there are things I do like. I was going to say there are things I like about it. I do like the dual cold shoe. I like that concept because you can very easily add a light source or whatever it is to the top. Microphones on the front of it are going to be dubious unless you have... I've got this device from Small Rig that gives everything a little bit more clearance. If you were just to put this straight up onto that cold shoe, the way that the GoPros work, as you can see what's going to happen there, right? You're going to see that in the frame. So you got to get this back a little, which is why I've got this Small Rig device. But ultimately, for the size and for the weight factor to use a GoPro, the other encumbrances, let's just call them, such as the ability not to control exposures, you can't see jack. There's nothing on the back when you're streaming. I just find that just totally counterintuitive. I'm just not going to touch it. I'm done with it. It's great for surfing. The max lens mod's awesome for horizon leveling, and surfing is brilliant. As a live streaming camera on the medium mod, Bow bow. Now, folks, if you enjoyed this content, please do me a solid. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. If you're not new, hit the like button. Share the video out with your friends. Maybe you got a friend who's thinking about doing some IRL streaming through a GoPro and you're like, oh, dude, you probably should check this video out because you're going to get that media mod. Just be aware of these things, right? You might want to let people know about how cumbersome it is. Please share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all on the next upload.